Hey guys, welcome back to ToonBlend 3D. In this part, we're going to go through the rigging and animation process for the Cactus Skull Prisoner character. So yeah, let's get started. First, add an armature and make sure you're in object mode. Press Shift plus A, then go to Armature, then choose Basic Human Rig, then go to Object Data Properties. Open Viewport Display and enable in front, so the bones are always visible. Now switch to Edit mode to adjust the armature. Before that, enable XX's mirror to make things easier. Start by selecting the arm bones and adjust them to match the character's arm. Make sure the tip bone reaches the end of the hand mesh. This bone needs to stay, otherwise the rig can break when generating. Place the middle bone right at the elbow area. Use snapping with vertex target to align the bone tips properly. Then continue adjusting from the right side view. Make sure the shoulder bone lines up straight with the upper arm. Next, move on to the legs. Adjust the leg bones from both front and side views, then scale them to match the size of the character's legs. Next, adjust the first spine bone so it stands straight, following the legs. Then continue adjusting the rest of the spine bones. After that, adjust the neck and head bones. Since the default spine count isn't enough to follow the back shape, we can add more bones. Select 2 spine bones, right-click, then choose Subdivide. This will double the number of bones. Then adjust their positions to follow the back shape. Finally, refine any bones that still feel off, like the foot bone. Make it as wide as the character's foot. Then let's add a bone for the belly area. You can add a bone with Shift plus A, but if you do that, it won't be generated like the others. So to make it work with Rigify, we need to assign a rig type manually. Go to Object Data Properties. Then, open the Rigify samples. Here, choose a basic supercopy bone. Then click Add Sample to create the bone. Now position the bone in the belly area. After that, parent this bone to the spine. Select the belly bone first, then select the spine bone. Press Ctrl plus P and choose Keep Offset. Now the belly bone will follow the spine. Once everything feels ready, try generating the rig. Then, if you get an error, check the message at the bottom. In this case, it shows an issue with spine.004. It means the bone is not properly connected to the previous spine bone. To fix it, connect them using vertex snapping. Select the tip of the bone, then snap it to the previous spine bone. Then adjust the rig again if needed. For example, you can refine the neck bone. Just make sure all bones are properly connected to avoid errors. Then generate the rig again. Once it works, the rig controls will appear automatically. Now you can hide the meta rig. Next, select the rig, then press A to select all. Press Ctrl plus P and choose with automatic weights. Now the character is bound to the rig. Select the rig and switch to pose mode. Enable X-ray mode so you can see the whole rig. Then try testing the rig by moving or rotating each bone. You can also control which rig layers are visible from the Item tab. Next, let's adjust the bone widgets using the Bone Widget add-on. Select the widget you want to change, then choose a shape. For example, select the foot widget rig, change it to a cube, then click Create. The widget will change to a cube shape. Then if it still needs adjustment, select Edit Widget. This will take you into edit mode. Then adjust the shape as you like. When you're done, click the bone to go back to pose mode. You can match the left side by using Symmetrize Shape, then continue adjusting the rest of the widgets. If you run into an issue with Symmetrize Shape, like on the hand control, when you edit it, the shape looks correct in edit mode, but doesn't update in pose mode. To fix this, go back to the meta rig, select all bones and use Symmetrize, then generate the rig again. Your widget changes will stay, and symmetry will work properly. Then continue adjusting the rest of the widgets. Next, let's add bones for the handcuffs. Use the same one as the belly bone. Since there are left and right parts, we'll make them symmetrical. Rename the bones using .L for left and .R for right. Then use Symmetrize to create the other side automatically. After that, parent them to the forearm bone. Then generate the rig again and adjust the handcuff widgets. Next, let's adjust the weight paint so the handcuffs follow the bones properly. Select the mesh you want to adjust, then switch to weight paint mode. Find the handcuffs vertex group. Enable masking, then switch to the gradient brush. This lets you select the faces you want to adjust. Now adjust the weight value. Red means strong influence from the bone. Blue means little to no influence. Then check the other vertex groups, and remove any weight affecting the handcuffs that shouldn't be there. You can clean it manually using the gradient brush, but that can take a lot of time. So instead, we'll remove the unused vertex groups. Before that, separate the handcuffs mesh from the body. Select the handcuffs mesh, press P, then choose Selection. Now select the handcuffs mesh. Then lock the handcuffs vertex group. Then delete all unlocked groups. Then do the opposite for the character body mesh. With this setup, the handcuffs will follow the bones properly. Finally, check and adjust the bone widgets if needed. Next, let's create a simple animation. Before that, adjust the layout by adding a dope sheet tab. Then enable timecode to replace frames. First, set the total frames. Here we'll use 24 frames. Then split the layout so you can monitor the animation. Now, turn on auto keying, so every movement of the rig will be recorded automatically. Start by setting the first pose on frame 1. Select all the rig, then press I to insert a keyframe. Then copy the keyframe to the last frame, which is frame 24. Since the first and last frames are the same, this will create a looping animation. Next, add a keyframe in the middle at frame 12. Start with something simple, like moving the torso slightly downward. Press spacebar to play the animation. You'll see the character moving up and down in a loop. Press Escape to stop the playback. Then continue adjusting other bones, like the neck, arms, belly, and handcuffs. Then check the result every time you add a keyframe, so you can see anything that needs improvement. Once you're done with the animation, it's better to turn off auto keying, so you don't accidentally record unwanted changes. Then if the animation feels too fast, you can slow it down by increasing the number of frames. Then select all the rig bones to show all keyframes, then go to frame 1. Then select all keyframes, then scale them to match the new frame range. And with that, the rigging and simple animation process is done. Next, we'll move on to UV unwrapping and texturing. Thanks for watching from the beginning, and see you next time.